Guys, welcome back to another apocalyptic gaming video. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 most insane police chases. So today we've got me, Jake, and Clzbro. So,
hello.
So hopefully this video goes well. Look, it might not. I don't know. Let's just start.
Never know. Okay, let's start.
These are the 10 most insane police chases on the internet.
Top potential link in the description.
Yeah. The original video, just put creds on it.
Drop a like and try not to run away from the cops, or else you'll end up like. Number 10.
Do what that guy says.
Okay, so what really sets his first chase off for most is the fact that not only are the cops chasing down a literal school bus, but its driver is actually a student at the very school from which the bus was stolen from. Airing on A&E's Live PD, this juvenile driver was barely old enough to be behind the wheel, let alone handling a 26-passenger bus. Considering he was already bound to be charged, this young driver decided to swerve all over the road, at one point even heading into oncoming traffic. However, rather than colliding with the traffic on the other side of the road, our bus dude decided to go for a different target.
Jeez!
Yeah, thankfully nobody was seriously injured in this crash, and the kid was apprehended by police shortly afterwards. If this kid ever wanted to steal a car again, let's just hope he looks for a game like GTA for his thrills rather than actually doing it in real life. But anyways, on to number 9. As far as police chases go, it's not uncommon to see a biker who isn't really keen on following speed limits enforced on highways. For this driver though, he wanted to do a little more than go fast, as he evaded police custody, and rather than keeping his eyes on the road and attempting to truly escape the cops, he kinda wanted to show off a little.
But when he put his feet on the seat, that was more than some could stand.
Look at this guy, look at this guy, look at this, look at this.
He's just trying to show off running away from the police.
I guess if he's going to jail anyway, he might as well make it a ride worth talking about once he gets put behind bars. Crazy part is, the culprit in question actually thought it was strange that the police tried to kick him off his bike during his joyride. Regardless of if he agreed with it or not, the guy was inevitably caught and promptly paid the price for his reckless antics.
Philip Resendez was arrested for felony evading and driving the wrong way.
What do you mean you didn't endanger anybody? You were standing on your bike going 100 miles per hour.
At the end of the day, nobody was hurt, and the guy apologized to his 2 daughters before being booked for his crimes. While he did walk away with a one-of-a-kind story to tell, I doubt it was worth the time spent in jail. Number 8.
I wonder how long good.
Imagine you're out on a family...
Guys, prediction down below and I'll actually find out for you.
Road trip, RVing across the country. You stop at a place to rest and relax when some crazy lady hops in your RV and,
It was a demolition derby.
Oh my gosh. Look at this.
A chunk of the RV was ripped away.
To make matters worse here, the lady brought her 2 dogs in the vehicle with her while she went for a dangerous joyride, and it gets really scary when one of the dogs...
Nah, I feel sorry for the dogs.
This is one of the things I don't like about America. I know it happens in the UK, but still.
Like, I have a dog of my own, and if he was ever in that situation, that would just be like...
Dogs does this.
Her dog.
There's Fido out there.
He's staring out of the gaping hole. Even the dog can't believe it. He's had enough. Out he goes.
Oh my God.
I mean, thankfully the pup limps away, but if this woman wasn't already in enough trouble with the police, considering her dog jumped out like that, I'm sure she's catching flack from PETA as well.
Insane jump by the dog.
She goes on to ram into other vehicles, leaving a trail of destruction before one crash makes her chase come to a screeching halt. The only serious injury was to the pup that jumped from the car, who then had to wear a pair of casts on its front and back legs until making a recovery. If this lady is ever allowed to drive away again, I just hope that she decides to keep the pooch far away from any of the action. Number 7.
Sad for the dogs.
If you were ever trying to outpace and escape the police, I'd imagine some of us would do just about anything to get away. Whether that be driving along the same highway at high speeds for hours on end, or even doing something as insane as boarding a moving train.
Boarding a moving...
The person got out and ran. It looks like somebody else is in the back of the vehicle too, but again, this person has jumped out running on foot.
At the end of the day, you've got to commend this guy's resolve in not getting caught.
That is pretty cool,
though. Who here can honestly say that they would chase down a moving train just to board it in an attempt to evade the cops? Like, the man just sneaks aboard the scrap train and rides it for a while before ditching it to take off on foot.
They're in the back seat as well. But again, this person running right along the railroad tracks. Very close there.
You almost wonder if he's going to try to jump onto the train right there.
While the other two folks in the back of his car had already been apprehended by this point, this guy just kept on running until he was inevitably caught by police later that day. Well, obviously none of us can condone his actions. I'm sure we can all respect the effort put in by this guy trying to escape. The man literally jumped onto a moving train.
That's pretty cool, though. Don't do it, but it's pretty cool.
Playing the Grand Theft Auto series, it's easily spinning out and crashing during a police chase. Naturally, the main vehicles following you are, of course, police cruisers, and while some of us just grab another pedestrian's car, the rest of us
I have like 8 mil on the game, but I haven't spent anything.
When this guy totaled the first vehicle he stole, the next closest car just so happened to be that of the very officers who were meant.
Wait. Oh, gee, look at that.
He stole, the next closest car just so happened to be that of the very officers who were meant to apprehend him.
Control smart cookies in general. And seeing what's going to happen
doing?
here.
Oh, no. This did not.
That's a bad idea. Like, I'm pretty sure police have trackers on every single vehicle.
Yeah, it's so weird why you would do that. But then again, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Somehow he manages to evade the cops and even take off with one of their cruisers, and that's not even the worst of it.
To the woman who was on her hands and knees, both leaving their cars.
And there's another officer that's just clueless. He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know.
Oh, this is...
Do they know?
Wait
a minute.
I mean, you can't really blame the officer who keeps on going here. Like, how in the world would you ever expect that your peers would let a suspect get away and with one of their own vehicles? Well, I say get away, but the chase only continued on for like another 20 minutes before the crook was arrested. So, while his maneuvers were pretty tactical, they didn't exactly pay off in the end.
Imagine being your
5.
job to like film.
Typical signs of a police chase are cars moving rapidly at high speeds, while occasionally causing a bit of havoc and even some destruction while trying to evade custody. For this chase, though, we're veering off on a different path. Rather than stepping down on the gas as hard as he could, this driver opted to do the exact opposite.
Chase, but this one may be the slowest ever. Fort Worth police followed the white Nissan for more than 2 hours.
Why are the police going really slow?
No hurry to escape.
Why don't they just get block
gathered on overpass.
You ever hear the song Slow Ride? It kind of does indicate to take it easy, but this takes the lyric to a whole new level. This driver even cultivates a crowd waving to those behind the road, acting as if it was his own parkway parade. And while this guy lives it up, he's got those police trailing at a similar speed until eventually the driver decides to kick it into high gear.
And went the wrong way down an access road to get back on the interstate.
That's quite funny.
Then, enough is enough. A police SWAT car performed a pit maneuver and rammed the back of the suspect's car, causing it to slam.
I don't get why the police just block.
After he's detained by police, it was revealed that the car was chock full of methamphetamine and that the driver was, of course, under the influence. And that probably explains why he eventually tried to make a break for it. Number 4. So far on this list, we've seen people try to escape the police on trains, in RVs, and even in other officers' cars. However, one thing we've yet to see, and will likely not see for some time, is a culprit trying to get away on his longboard.
Traffic clutching
oh
the
my
longboard.
God.
And then came the move worthy of a movie, if only it had worked. For 5 seconds, the suspect tried to skateboard away from officers in hot pursuit on foot.
Before all this, the man was being pursued by police in a car he'd previously stolen before crashing into the back of another driver's vehicle. Knowing he'd be caught if he did nothing, he did the first thing that came to his mind and tried to carve his name in the history books by attempting his own version of the Great Escape. With that in mind, though, if I were this guy, I probably would have just thrown it away and ran as fast as I could, but then again, regardless of what method he
I wonder if he actually got away, because they didn't say.
There was no escaping the long arm of the law.
Oh no, they got him.
The same red pickup cut him off and practically pinned him.
Whoa! Who's that guy?
Next time he decides to try and evade the police, I just hope he brings something a little quicker than a longboard as a backup plan. Number 3. In most police chases, people start in a car and end up running on foot, but this chase begins on foot as the criminal was originally caught and was being treated on a stretcher near an ambulance. But right before he was processed and cuffed, he opted to jump up and take the emergency vehicle for a spin.
Police say they shot him 3 times as he reversed and hit 2 officers in uniform. For almost 90 minutes, Gavrowski leads police on a tour of Frankfurt and Cotman Avenues and side streets around the boulevard.
It takes a special kind of person to take an ambulance, vehicle typically used for transporting the sick or injured, and instead use it as a getaway car. Then again, considering he was going to be charged for assault anyway, it makes his desperate attempt at escape seem a little more understandable. But
that's what they're saying, that it would be okay, but he's getting charged more for hitting cars and then he's gonna have to pay for it and whatnot.
True.
Regardless of whatever vehicle he decided to steal, it was bound to need a tow after the chase.
For 4 minutes, he tries to get in front of Giverowski. His persistence pays. He flattens a front tire before spinning out.
Finally got the right tire, and he still was going. He was down like 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, this tow truck driver is definitely a hero for his actions here, because shortly after he popped the guy's front right tire, a spike strip finished the job, making it easy for the police to get the criminal back in custody.
GG,
while the chase only went on for like 20 minutes or so, it definitely would have lasted much longer if it weren't for this truck driver showing up to work early. Talk about dedication. Number 2.
Yeah.
Alright, if you can't tell by now, these chases come in all shapes and sizes, but the very last person you'd ever expect to see behind the wheel, well, are little kids.
Oh my!
In the case of this 7-year-old, he had his first encounter with the law on a bright Sunday morning.
Weber County Sheriff's patrol car as the deputy followed the boy, unaware of just how young that driver was. It was a wild ride, but the little guy never went over 35.
And while you can't really tell that it's a kid with him just driving along, it gets a lot easier to see once he pulls up to his family's driveway.
They'll never find me under the bed.
Yeah, if I were to categorize the boy's skill as a driver.
The kid just ran right inside and told his dad that the cops were outside without giving him literally any context. So when the officer went ahead and told the dad what his son had been up to before church, she was just as confused as any of us probably would be in that situation. I mean, in all fairness to the kid, when I was young, I remember always wanting to know how it felt to kind of like jump behind the wheel of a car. And while nowadays it's become a regular part of life for most of us, to this 7-year-old, it must have been an exhilarating experience. I mean, fair play to the kid. Honestly, it's just impressive that he came out of it uninjured and that he actually managed to drive pretty well for being 7. Next time, let's just hope he waits until he's at least 16 before taking his filthy car out for a spin.
Must be playing a lot of Forza with that, like wheelie king.
Finally coming in at our number 1 spot, we're taking a look across the pond to a pursuit that happened in London, England. Conventionally, if you're trying to escape police custody, your vehicle of choice would usually be something small and fast, right? Well, for this intoxicated driver, he opted for something with a little more destructive power to go about on his rampage.
That's actually smart. They can hit him.
True.
Look, you tow him over. Wow.
Like I mentioned before, our driver here is under the influence, meaning that he likely has no regard for anyone else on the road. With that in mind, you can imagine he's not exactly the most careful when trying to avoid the very cops that are chasing him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still got an officer. You need to get yourself outside.
Oh my god. Why? Just why?
He goes on to hit several other police cruisers along his trail of carnage. You see what I did there? Okay, kind of cringe. Well, anyway, of course, the driver was inevitably caught by police, but not before he caused plenty of damage to all those police cars who decided to get in the way of his 12-ton dump truck destruction. Thankfully, that was the majority of the damage caused by this insane chase, and fortunately for everyone involved, no one was seriously injured. But hey, click on screen right now to check out this video.
Yeah, that last one, like, it looked like the thing was actually gonna go off. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so that was a good video.
Yeah, as you can see in the middle, Top 5 Central, that's where we've got these videos from. So check them out. Link will be in the description to check it out.
So yeah, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.
Peace.